The National Institutes of Health report that up to 90% of all visits to primary care doctors are for conditions related to emotional stress. So, is emotional stress making you sick? In her book, The Root of All Healing, 7 Steps to Healing Anything, Misa Hopkins shares how we can de-stress and start to heal. And Misa is with me this morning with all the details. Misa, thank you for joining me.
I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, I mean, this is really important stuff here. So, you know firsthand how emotional stress can deal with, or how emotional trauma and stress can deal with our illness. So tell me a little about your story.
Well, I spent 7 years with an undiagnosable medical condition in which I was producing as much testosterone as a teenage boy.
Wow.
And I was a woman in my 20s. Now, I was in excruciating pain. I was horribly depressed, and no doctor was able to help me. So I remember standing in front of my bathroom mirror with tears streaming down my face, thinking, this is my whole life. It's going to be this bad. And that was a jolt for me.
Yeah.
You know, I looked in that mirror and I said, I am going to change this. I am going to heal no matter what. And I did.
And you did.
I did. Now, fortunately, I found a doctor that was able to diagnose it, was able to prescribe for it. I also paid attention to that stress I was dealing with. And in that process, I had a breakthrough. I remembered that I had been sexually abused as a child. That memory had been repressed.
Wow.
And when I realized that, I realized I also had created a belief. And the belief was, it's safer to be a man than it is to be a woman.
Yeah.
So my body created that reality.
And that's why it was
for me.
producing that testosterone.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And since that childhood trauma, I had been living in stress all of those years and not even realizing it.
Wow. Well, what are some of the indicators? Because, I mean, most folks, like you and I were talking about, when we're in the thick of it, we don't realize
That's
that we're
right.
doing it. So what are some of the indicators that we're living with this emotional stress that could be making us sick?
Moodiness, irritability, difficulty sleeping or relaxing, panic attacks, overwhelm, a sense of loneliness, general depression. Those are all indicators.
Really?
And they lead to serious illnesses. We're talking heart disease, diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, autoimmune diseases, and those are just a few. So it's really important for us to acknowledge the stress that's happening in our lives.
And you know, as you're listening, I'm like, check, 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 which I'm sure a lot of viewers at home are. So the real question is, how can we de-stress?
All right, the first thing to do is avoid as many stressful relationships and situations as you possibly can. Now, some stress is good in our lives. Excitement is stress, and that's fun. But say, for example, you're calling your elderly mother every day to check on her, and those conversations get stressful, but the first 2 to 3 minutes are pretty good. Cut down your calls to 2 to 3 minutes. We need to be creative in avoiding stress. Secondly, schedule time to relax so that it will actually happen, and exercise every day, because exercise, increases endorphins, which decreases stress, which allows your natural healing properties, your natural process to actually kick into gear for you. 3, be creative and have fun every day. Have you noticed it's really difficult to get stressed out when you're having a great time?
Absolutely.
All right, so do more of what you love.
Okay.
And 4, lower your standards. When we're emotionally stressed, we're usually really putting pressure on ourselves. So if we lower our standards, we will actually be able to achieve and accomplish more and enjoy our lives more.
That's great.
Last, talk to somebody you trust or a therapist about your feelings. Underneath your feelings, there are needs that want to be met, like being heard, being respected, being understood. When somebody's listening and they care and you're getting new perspective about your life, those needs are getting met.
That's great. Well, now you have a free gift for our viewers, and I want to make sure that we get this, because we always like free gifts, especially with something like this. So how do we get it? What's the scoop?
All right, there's a free report called Beating the Odds, 10 Beliefs That Can Short Circuit Your Healing, and it's available at my website, misahopkins.com. Misa is spelled M-I-S-A.
Great, and as you see right there, folks, misahopkins.com. Well, this is great stuff. Thank you so much for sharing it with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Chad.
absolutely, absolutely. All right.